Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having Greek yogurt, almond butter, and frozen cherries. And again, guys, please stop giving me advice on what to add to my food. I only tell you guys what's in there because a lot of people used to ask. So get in that habit, but I don't care what you like. This is what I choose to eat. So that aside, let's talk a little bit about polyunsaturated fats. And, this is the stuff that we need to address if we're going to be evidence-based. And the problem is like every time you bring these things up, something like this, you will always have these fringe people who come in and they're very, very loud arguments of saying you're wrong and all the research is wrong and all the research saying that we need to limit saturated fats, should be eating polyunsaturated fats is funded by the Illuminati and the global elites to kill us all and all this stuff. And look, guys, you got to drop this nonsense. You have to drop it because every nutrition researcher in the world in 30 different countries is not in on this and secretly trying to kill you. Okay, they're not. And I am a conspiracy theorist by most people's definitions, and even I don't buy into this. And so it's saying, oh, all the good research has been suppressed and this is all bad, but you don't have any research then. So you can't say that either. But the things that we need to be looking at are, what does the data show here for stuff like insulin resistance and inflammation? Because this thing I've been pointing out recently that we really shouldn't be doing low-fat diets for optimal health and recovery. But when I say that, I don't mean you add a bunch of butter to your food. In polyunsaturated fats. And no, you can't come in and just add fish oil to get all this. There isn't that much fat in them. It's not a solution. You could eat fatty fish. If that's your preference. But we get these things from a lot of plant sources. Nuts are very high on the list. In fact, for me these days, nuts make up probably 50% of my calories every day. It comes from nuts. I'm eating tons of them. And I'm recovering better as a result. Other fatty things, avocados, seeds. You could do some seed oils. You could throw flaxseed oil into some of your stuff, and that's fine. I would rather get it from whole foods, kind of like the whole thing of people throw butter and everything. It's a refined junk food. And that's its own topic itself. Polyunsaturated fats. Why? Because we have three basic fat types. We have polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, and we have saturated. And I'm not demonizing saturated fat here. I'm not saying if you eat 20 grams of saturated fat a day that it's going to hurt you. I'm not saying that that's bad, but I'm saying that we need to moderate it because as the intake goes up, just like with anything else in the body, like refined sugars, your body can process a small amount of them pretty effectively. Right? They're not automatically some poisonous, dangerous thing. They're not. We can handle a certain quantity without seeing negative health effects. Same with saturated fat. You eat one lean steak a day, and that's all the saturated fat you eat. And I'm talking about a lean steak, like a sirloin or something. You're not going to reach a level of saturated fat that's going to hurt you. You're not. So again, we need to find a middle ground here for the people on the other extreme. But what we know is that saturated fats seem to cause more insulin resistance. Monounsaturated fats slightly improve it. They improve insulin sensitivity. Polyunsaturated fats, and all of them, right? All of them. And again, I'm not telling you to go eat a bunch of heavily refined oils. Okay? I'm not telling you to do that any more than I'm telling you to eat butter, which I'm not. I'm not saying to deep fry your food in canola oil here. But polyunsaturated fats, when their intakes go up, insulin sensitivity improves. Inflammatory markers in the body improve. What does this mean for lifters? I mean, we know what it means for health. Less cancer, less diabetes, less heart attacks. Right? Pretty straightforward. But we're talking about for athletes and lifters. that improved insulin sensitivity is good for muscle growth. It's good for body composition. If our insulin sensitivity is higher, we need a smaller insulin response to maximize shuttling nutrients into our muscles, to getting glycogen and amino acids into our muscles, because we're more efficient at using the insulin, the transporter. This is a very positive thing. It's a positive thing. But we don't get that from saturated fats. It doesn't help us there. It technically hurts us as they go up. One of the issues you run into is something that really awesome, like the vertical diet, eating a very insulinogenic carbs and a decent amount of saturated fat usually. Over time, your insulin sensitivity goes down. It's great for bulking up to a point, but in the longer term, it may not be optimal. There's a certain threshold to where it may not be ideal. I'm not saying it's bad. I had great results. I probably gained a little more body fat than I thought I would on it. Right, but we come back over to getting more polyunsaturated fats that improved insulin sensitivity. Okay, that is good for building muscle. It's good for recovery. Good for weight loss. Your appetite's controlled better. Your blood sugar's controlled better, particularly when you're in a deficit. Right, this is very positive. We also get calories from it, just like we do with all fat, which we need for training and recovery. What about the inflammation? That's the thing I've noticed. Since I do a diet like this more and more, I've noticed a marked reduction in things like tendon inflammation. My joints and tendons feel better. Right? This matters. It matters a lot for an older lifter as we start to get older. If our joints and tendons are recovering better, we can train more. And if they're recovering better, what else is recovering better? The muscles probably are too. So what I'm saying here is that as a lifter, eating a diet that's higher in polyunsaturated fats, not trying to eat a really low-fat diet, as again, we work at that well, the larger insulin response, more carbohydrate, which we do need. You absolutely do need carbohydrate for muscle growth and performance. But we only need so much of it. But if our diet is geared in such a way that we use it more efficiently due to better insulin sensitivity, just what this would be doing, it's going to improve. We're going to make better use of the carbohydrate that we do eat for our training purposes, for our recovery purposes. Right, there's a lot of benefit to this, and in general, you're going to be healthier. Blood work is going to look better. Your inflammatory markers in your blood work is going to look better. And that's really what we want to see. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.